Dear my fellow Nigerians, I have refrained from engaging with vitriol, scorn and suspicion directed at me online because I was not raised to trade in lies or to indulge in false narratives. I did not do so as a child, and I will not begin now as a grown man. Because of my father's involvement in Nigerian politics, there has been a persistent curiosity and, at times, a malicious obsession with me. Why? I do not know. I have no social media presence and no interest in maintaining one, so I rarely correct these falsehoods. But perhaps it is time I address them. I understand that gossip follows those connected to public life, but let me remind you, my father is the one in politics, not me. To assume that my life or choices are somehow political statements is a flawed and childish calculation. It reveals more about the pettiness of those spreading such narratives than it does about me or my father. This pattern has become all too familiar. Individuals opposed to my father seize ordinary photos of me, images that are neither hidden nor secret, and repackage them with false stories. These are not revelations, they are not exposés, they are simply misrepresentations, fiction spun from pictures. I have seen this happen to others, but experiencing it myself repeatedly is deeply unsettling. Still, I want it to be known clearly, what is being circulated is gossip. I'm an actor and a writer by profession. Many are surprised, given the businessman, entrepreneur, and economist my father is. I'm sure he imagined I might follow that path. Yet, though my career is far from what he envisioned, he fully supports me. Unlike many children of Nigerian politicians, I have never relied on nepotism. I was raised to know that my father's wealth is not mine and that I must build my own life. My chosen path is in theatre and filmmaking, so far from the world he inhabits. An industry that embraces diversity of class, race, sexuality and identity. I portray characters vastly different from myself. Yet some online use these roles against me and my father, presenting fiction as fact. I trust any rational person can see how absurd this is. More importantly, Nigeria has far greater issues than idle speculation about what Peter Obi's son is doing. Our nation still struggles with insecurity, a weakened economy, crumbling infrastructure, failing healthcare, and politicians who steal from the people they swore to serve. And yet, for some, the priority is to spread gossip about who Peter Obi's son appears with in a photo. This is a distraction from the real crisis that matters to all Nigerians. The truth is simple. Peter Obi's son appears in photos with his friends and his work colleagues, nothing more. If people wish to invent otherwise, I hope they sleep soundly, knowing they are spreading lies. Nor I or my father are perfect men, and as a father and son we have our differences, but I can attest to his integrity and his relentless desire to lead Nigeria out of its current hardships. In our home, as a child, the lesson was always clear. Face your work, do it honestly, and contribute to the good of others. That is what I will continue to do. So to those who attempt to distract us with lies, I beg you, stop pulling attention away from Nigeria's urgent problems. My father has my vote, not because he is my father, but because he is the right man for the job. If others wish to go low, invent scandals, or attack me to wound him, they are free to do so. But we will go high, and we will continue to focus on the future of Nigeria. With love, Oseloka Obi.
It's really so sad how a lot of people reason. Peter Obi is a man of integrity, and you all know that Peter Obi has said in several interviews that he doesn't really care what his family does. Like when Peter Obi said he never used business class, what we call first class, in a plane. People were saying, oh, but your wife, we saw your wife using business class. We saw your wife using first class. Peter Obi said his wife can decide to use first class, but he would not use first class. And anytime you see Peter Obi in first class, know that someone got him that ticket. Or some people say, oh, Peter Obi said he doesn't fly private jets. Why is he on a private jet? Each time you see a Peter Obi in a private jet, know that somebody gave him that private jet. Now you see politics in Nigeria has become a lot about, it has become more sentimental than people looking at the actual fact. People looking at the actual facts. What are the actual facts? That there is poor electricity, like we don't have good electricity in Nigeria, courtesy of the president and his men. his cabinet. We do not have, yes, we have water. We do not have, very good roads in places that ought to have good roads. There are roads that, can you say that governments will come and go and they cannot do the they cannot maintain or rebuild the road linking Abuja to Lagos, Lagos to Calabar, Lagos to the east. They cannot do it because of what? They are looking for ways to have what to campaign with. Like when I say this, people are like, how do you mean? When they don't do these roads and they come back for the next election, they will have something to hold on to. And the thing is, you see this blame game thing where they leave what they are supposed to pursue other people. Now they have seen that Peter Obi has nothing in his cupboard, like he has no skeleton in his cupboard. He does not have anything that will drag him with. So they are going as far as tarnishing the image of his son. His son is somebody who is into acting, is a model. So you see a lot of people snap with him, take photographs with him, and because they see him the way he is, they've just concluded. Sometimes he's dressed on a costume, and then people snap him and begin to peddle rubbish rumors about him. It's high time they looked into the real thing that is plaguing Nigeria and left people's private lives alone. How do you say Peter Obi's son is gay? What has Peter Obi's son's choice of sexuality got to do with his own personality as Peter Obi? Now, let us not forget that we've had presidents or heads of states whose children were into powder, were into doing one form of illicit act or the other. But that did not stop people from supporting them. And when people say, oh, what can Peter Obi offer? Okay, if Peter Obi cannot offer anything, let us still try him, just like we've tried those who never offered anything. Let us give Peter Obi a chance, because he tried, like he tried as a governor, and now as president, he has told us what he's going to do. If you people could trust somebody who knew nothing he was going to do, like he wasn't even at par with what he was going to do. He never had any inkling of what he was going to do as president. If people could trust such a person to be president, why can't you trust the Peter Obi who has given you the blueprint of what he was going to do? Now, leadership, sometimes you say, oh, the way a man raises his child is going to tell a lot about leadership. So you all know that there are some leaders who are now elected into, let's say Nigerian politicians, who are elected into office, whose kids have questionable character. You all know that. Like, there are some, I will not be mentioning names, that their children are runway models and they dress, in a certain way. But nobody has judged them by that. One of the things that is plaguing Nigeria, one of the things that is making Nigerian politicians or politics go south each time people are trying to make it go straight, it's because of tribal sentiments. Because Peter Obi is not a Yoruba man, because Peter Obi is not a Hausa man, because Peter Obi is from the east, so he's not fit to become, president of Nigeria. Like now, people have had the opinion that, oh, Peter Obi is saying he'll do a one term. Let me ask you a question. Do you not know that as a Nigerian, you are supposed to serve for 4 years? If you now come into power, if they feel that, oh, you did so well, they can now vote you back. But it's not automatic. So what Peter Obi said he was going to do 4 years, it was very okay. He's following the constitution. So if you people think he has done well and you want to give him another opportunity, he will definitely welcome it, except he decides to decline. So why do you people think that everything Peter Obi does? Peter Obi, trends on a regular, like on a daily basis, he trends back to back without any form of doing too much. He trends, and some of you are not happy about it. And it's not his fault. It's not his fault that this guy has so much good records. Like Peter Obi knew he was going to be a public figure. Peter Obi knew he was going to be a politician from when he was very small. So he lived his life clean. And instead of us to emulate this, if these people had any inkling or had anything Peter Obi had done in the past that they will use against him, they would have done that a long time ago in 2023. So it's high time you guys left Peter Obi's family alone. Focus on him. You see, these are the issues. Focus on the main thing that is a problem, and leave pursuing shadows. Leave, victimizing or trying to pull down his family for choosing to be who they are. So if his son is not a politician, definitely his son will have something he had done. Like he told you guys that he is different from Peter Obi. He has his life to live. And this has helped us, even in my own family. My father, my mother, they made us understand that their certificate is theirs. we cannot use their certificate, so we should go to school. We should make a living out of ourselves. And that has helped us to be so self-sufficient. So you who is watching this video, who is still thinking about tribalism, since your tribesman became president, how well have you fared in your house? Is your mother living large? Is your father living large? Are you feeling better than when your tribesman was not in power? Ask yourself those questions. That your tribesman is going into power, will that change the narrative, or will that change the history of your family? Why not allow people who would change the trajectory of Nigeria and make Nigeria a better and fertile place for people to invest in? Why not look forward to a Nigeria that is possible, a good Nigeria, a Nigeria that people can be proud of? 2023, a lot of Nigerians in diaspora had, made up their mind to return back if Peter Obi wins, because they knew that Peter Obi was good and a man for the job. If Peter Obi comes in as president, a lot will happen for good for Nigeria. He might not immediately change Nigeria, but remember that there was a man who came into power, who mentioned his name, who made fell at 200 and something, I guess. And the thing went up, he said subsidy was gone. And he said he would not borrow money because he has removed subsidy. But now he had borrowed more than when there was subsidy. Let us tell ourselves the truth and call his spade a spade. It's high time we stopped all this tribalism, nepotism, favoritism, shenanigans. It's high time we stopped it and faced the fact. Nigeria is too blessed to keep having wrong leaders. Nigeria is too blessed to keep having people who are clueless. Nigeria is too great to keep having people who don't have certificate. You go to an office environment, you see a master's degree holder, any 200k. Meanwhile, somebody who had D7 parallel in WAEC, who used his WAEC result to become governor or president, at the end of the day, you see that they failed. What are we? What kind of country are we, growing? What kind of children do we want to grow? Where you tell you to have PhD to be able to get a job and so many years of experience, yet the person who is giving these orders or making these laws do not even have a degree, does not even have a complete SSC. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts.